Welcome to the show, the Wake Up and Be Wealthy show. I was actually quite nervous because you may be you may be able to even hear it a little bit, but my voice has been wanting to go away and I'm like, "No," like quite literally, which means like an up level of some sort is coming, which I'm super excited about. And we're chatting about the gaps in my own business today. I love being vulnerable and transparent and real. It's one of my core values. And so I'm just excited to talk and be real about this and not make it like mean anything about me and just share. Like, I think it's so important and so powerful to share where you're at, where you're heading, what's working, what's not working, all of those things, and just model like what I'm doing. And I think that's what makes an amazing coach, to be honest. I used to think it meant that you had to be perfect and have all your shit together. And that is just not the case. And even my hat today says boss of chaos. So, um, when you're running a big business and you have little children, it's bound to be some sort of chaos. But we're wanting it to be organized chaos at the very least. So bear with me with my voice, but I'm super excited to chat with you today and also give a shout out to our podcast episode sponsor, which is one of one human that just goes way back with me. She's been in some of my OG programs and we've just stayed friends over all the years and I'm just so proud of her. Carlie Yates is the sponsor today and I'm so grateful for you. She's known as that one writer chick and she is promoting one of her series today that I'm so excited to share with you. So join Catherine and Brody on their journey from their tumultuous, if I could talk, beginning to their emotional relationship in the Entangled series by Carlie Yates. From the entitled princess and the brooding bookworm with dark secrets. I love this. Read along as their relationship blossoms in Catherine's coming of age novel entitled. Then there is Brody's quest for the truth amidst the lies he's been told his whole life and his struggle to keep from becoming the devil he fears most in Entrapped. And finally, their story in Entangled, um, where a heart-shattering tragedy threatens to keep them apart. This sounds so juicy, you guys. Enjoy the journey today, which I think every entrepreneur gets to have some sort of like guilty pleasure escape. And I fully, wholeheartedly believe Carlie is like the next, 50 Shades of Grey series or Harry Potter or any of those like big, well known stories. Like, I just like authors are like some of the most amazing humans. And it like, especially like a series like it's all like things that are created in Carlie's head. So just a shout out to her. You can buy her books on Amazon. I'll make sure that everything is linked in the show notes for you as always. But I think it's important and powerful to support each other as women. These are great gifts for people in your life, but you you won't go wrong by buying the series. So let's talk about the gaps in my business. I don't even feel uncomfortable talking about them, which is just honestly like huge growth because the me a few years ago would have probably like felt super embarrassed. Again, like I used to think that I had to have all of my shit together to be, label myself as like a coach or a mentor. And I just like let that go one day, probably because it was just so exhausting just to, to be quite honest. And truly every single amazing CEO out there, whether it's a big business, a small business, a solo entrepreneur, no matter what size of your business, you're still a CEO at the end of the day. You may not feel like you label yourself at that, but at the end of the day, you are running a business. So therefore, you are the chief executive officer. You could even call yourself like the chief energy officer or any other title. But at the end of the day, let's all just like agree you are the CEO of your business and also your life. And so it is one of the biggest, most important jobs from the CEO is to assess where the gaps are so that way you can close the gaps. And when you really start to look at this from a more of a like a neutral lens, it doesn't become so emotional where you like again, make it about you or make it mean something about you. And rather, we're just looking for the gaps and our job is to fill them. And making it like a fun game, I think, is so powerful. And equally, we really want to prioritize because there's always gaps. There's always opportunities. There's always room for improvement. And so, what can be challenging at the end of the day is deciding, which gap do I fill? What is most, what's most urgent? What's going to give me my most bang for my buck? Which is where like a coach or a mentor can help you because they're not so connected to it. So they're not as entrenched in it as you are. But you are a very smart human being and you can do this. You don't need a coach or a mentor to do this. They're just going to help you, right? Especially if you feel like you're like struggling to come up with a list. But I wanted to assess where some of my gaps are and talk to them about you. Talk to them. If I could talk. Talk to you about them if I could actually talk. And I'm hoping that my voice doesn't give out on me. So again, thank you for bearing with me. So I've invested in myself, in education, more than I ever have in the years past. Like I've always had like a coach, a mastermind, but this year I have gone like balls to the wall. I am in multiple different containers for multiple different reasons. And it's all been very strategic. And so that is getting me in the room of some powerful, powerful women that has helped me realize like, oh, there's a gap I didn't know about. There's a gap I didn't know about. There's a gap I didn't know about. And the cool part about this is I know I'm going to do the work, right? And so I actually get so freaking excited to identify the gaps and then start getting to work. Like start getting to work. I saw something on Pinterest. Pinterest is one of my guilty pleasures. I want to see if I can find it really quickly for you because it was just so good. Let me see if I can find it. It made me laugh. Okay, here it is. Perfect. It was meant to be because it literally just came up really fast. So if I want it, I will work for it. If I am working for it, I will work until I get it. So yes, I get what I want. And I laughed so hard when I saw that this weekend because I was like, that's so me. And I also have a candle that says, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. Like, it's just my personality. Like, there's never a matter of like, oh man, I want that and I can't have it. And then it stops. It's like that never, like, I don't even remember the last time I like felt that way. It was like, oh no, I really want this. And if I can't get it right this second, I'm going to work for it until I get it. And then yes, of course I get what I want. Right. And when you like start to like get in that energy, it becomes like big D energy. We could call it big CEO energy. Like, and I don't think it's arrogant. I don't think it's a bad thing because you actually get shit done and you feel so fucking powerful. And when it's used for good, I think it's a good thing. Because it actually means we're going to be able to live your wealthy life and not just dream about it, right? And you're in full control, which I think is just one of the most powerful things ever. So let's talk about my gaps, and maybe this will inspire you to like look at your life and your business. And I really, like I said at the beginning of the episode, you are the CEO of your life and your business. And I do believe when you're crushing it in your life, it helps you to crush it in your business and vice versa. But here's the most challenging part. We can only focus on one thing at a time. And that means you could still have multiple focuses going on at the same time, meaning like the same week. But from this time to this time, I'm CEO in my business. From this time to this time, I'm CEO in my life, right? I'm being mom, I'm being wife. It's very, very hard to do wife and momming at the same time, wife and CEO at the same time. It actually hurts my brain, which is why I sped up childcare, because I was like, I am working too hard. Like, work smarter, not harder. I'm working way too hard. So I would say that was the first gap that I've already closed was Boone, our 6-month-old as of tomorrow when I'm recording this podcast. I can't believe it already. But that was a gap that I assessed because he wasn't going to go to full-time childcare until August. And we sped it up by 2 months because I was like, my mental health was truly suffering, like tremendously suffering. And I like talked to my husband and I said, I know we planned on August, but would you be willing, like, are you aligned with moving it up by 2 months? And I explained why. And already just in a couple of weeks, it has been truly life changing. My schedule, I'm obsessed with. Like, I feel like I've left my laptop at my office all week. And I did take it this past weekend because I like to be creative on the weekends. But we went and we played tennis. We watched based on a true story together as a family. I did stuff around the house. I rested. I relaxed. Like, I feel so control. I feel in so much control of my schedule, but it was because I had to close that gap. Before, it looked very different. I was working and doing things at the same time, like holding a baby, doing a coaching call. It wasn't sustainable, right? Like, it was a band-aid, right? Like, I love to work, and so it was helpful, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm always providing a great experience, and I will never like squash a mom that's working during like momming and working at the same time. Um, but with that being said, it's like what is best for you so that way you can thrive. So that was a huge gap that I recently closed and has already, like I said, been life changing in just 2 weeks. So I can't imagine what it will feel like by the end of the year. And that's like the biggest thing that I want you to hear is like when you do this and you do this over and over and over again, everything starts to stack and everything starts to compound in a good way. And it feels so good because you're not looking at it from an emotional lens of like, this sucks and I can't do anything about it. You're looking at it from such an empowered lens of like, okay, this isn't feeling the greatest, or this isn't working, or this is missing. What can I do about it? Right. And we go into solutions mode and we do this one thing at a time. That's why like prioritizing is the biggest thing, which is why I knew childcare was like the first thing. And then it's like created this beautiful avalanche of like, okay, here's some other things that I can work on. And I just work on them every single day. So here's a couple gaps that I've noticed. I used to do master classes more often than I have been doing them because I had a baby, right? And before I had a baby, I was super pregnant and I was super tired, and that's just what it is, right? Like, it's an excuse, and I'm not mad about it because it was life and it was reality. But being in one of the containers that I'm in, I realized that it's a gap, right? Like, I can get to so many people by doing a live masterclass. And so one of the containers that I'm in, that mentor, she does the same masterclass, you guys, every single week. And it's live every single week. She runs ad traffic to it. She has an email funnel sequence, and she sells into her membership week after week, and she is crushing it, which is why I paid to be in her container, because we're about to go on a membership launch and I'm super excited about it. And I was like, teach me your ways, right? Like, I love being humble and being like, I don't know it all. Like, teach me like what you've been doing because it's working, right? And like that information is not only going to help my business, but it's then going to help everyone in my world, which is like the best win-win ever. So I won't be able to start doing those. To me, doesn't feel good until towards the end of summer. I've been like scheduling self-care and just getting in a rhythm and a routine and prepping. And even if I started it now, I wouldn't have the email sequences in place and all of the other like prerequisites to that. So I've already been putting it on my schedule that I want to start with every other week and then see how that goes. And then if that feels really good and it feels like it makes sense, then I'm going to add every week. And that way I only have to show up for 1 hour, about maybe a little bit longer, but 1 hour. And it's going to be the same masterclass over and over and over again and get so good at it. And then once I feel like it's at a point where we can just automate it, meaning like it's just an on-demand webinar, we'll do it. Webinar, masterclass, you use the same words. We'll do it, but I have a really big, I was going to say aggressive goal, but aggressive feels negative, but a big exciting goal for our membership. And it's going to take some energy, right? It's going to take some time. And I know I sell so well live. And so even if they're smaller numbers every single week, when it's live, it's just a whole, like, you'll just convert so much higher. So I want to test that. I want to play with that and feel what it feels like. And then we can shift accordingly. My health and fitness has still been a big gap for me. Just being postpartum, Boone, our 6-month-old, he still isn't sleeping great through the night. So I've just been like choosing sleep. But with that being said, I'm working on getting water in. I want to eventually hire a personal trainer, which I was also then thinking about like something fun. Like, you can already hear me like problem solving. but like doing different fun series, like I've always wanted to do like pole dancing, or they have a chair dancing class, and that's like health and fitness. Boxing, right? Like there's all these like fun things that play into ADHD, because like once you like do something for a hot second, you get kind of bored. So I'm like, ooh, maybe as a personal trainer, I could like buy a handful of sessions of different types of exercise, and then like having running as my like steady Eddie, which I always do, and then sign up for the half marathon that's in October. That gives me like something to work towards, all of those things. So just thinking about that. Also, like my office space is still not fully ready. And so it's just been eating at me, because I'm like, oh, this isn't in place. This isn't in place. And so it just is distracting, because I want this to be like a fully optimized space. We're getting closer. I'm just waiting on things to be like delivered to me so I can finish it. But we've made progress, which feels amazing. And I'm super excited about that. And then from there, I used to do sales power hours in the morning. Again, having a baby has just kind of like derailed that for the time being, but I get so much energy, honestly, from doing sales power hours. It's not just the results, it's just like I feel connected to people, like I'm checking in with them, following up with them, seeing how I can help them. And I know when I do video and when I do direct messaging and reach outs and relationship building, it just works. Like hands down, throughout my 17 years, like those are the things that work so well, and they feel so good. It's just making it a priority in my schedule, which I'm super excited about. And then I like brainstormed some opportunities. So these aren't necessarily gaps, but will absolutely help us get to the next level. So I wanted to share those with you. One I actually just did. I wanted to like rework like our email, how we talk to people. So I reworked that this past weekend. It just to feel a little bit more personalized, a little bit more like visually appealing. So I actually checked that one because I already did it. Like I told you, I invested in a container that does email funnel sequences, which I'm super excited about, because again, once I get really good at that, then I can help other people get really good at that. So that just kicked off, and I'm super excited about it. We just bought or invested in a testimonial software that I'm again super excited about, because it's going to help me and I can teach other people. Like, do you see my brain? I'm like, how can I help more humans? So I want to really like work on that. I really want to get an Instagram chat bot where like when you comment a certain word, it like sends you a certain freebie. So I don't have to worry about like messaging people back. Again, like DMs are very magical, but they can be very time consuming. So that was a huge opportunity of like, oh my gosh, that could be like amazing. So I already have what I want picked out. I have tested so many sales CRMs over all the years, and they all have their pros and cons, but I finally found one that does some email marketing like automation, some text messaging automation, all built into one. It's still like super affordable. So it's too soon to like put the Nellie like stamp of approval on it, but I found it. I like it so far. They have a 2-week trial. So I'm in the 2-week trial. So more upcoming on that. Another opportunity is I've purchased a handful of courses over the last year, and I really just want to like sit down and like tackle each course at a time, so I can get my money's worth, right? Like those things are great because they're there. Pretty much all of them are like lifetime access, but if you don't absorb the content, you can't do anything with it. So I actually ordered for my new office a TV with an Apple TV, which if you don't know what an Apple TV, it's like how you can connect your computer to your TV wirelessly. So that way I can stream something on my TV, which is like a course, and I can have that just playing in the background. But then it doesn't like take up my actual computer, because again, ADHD, if there's something on my computer, it just makes it so much harder for my brain to focus. But if it's in like the background or anything like that, it's not so challenging. Speaking of that, they're just calling me right now. The sales CRM software. That's so funny. They heard their ears burning. And then really from there, we just have so many assets that we're not monetizing at like this hot second. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like let's get some of these like lower ticket assets out of the door, right? Like, and just start talking about them organically, which we just designed our own app. So it's like getting them on the app, then talking about them organically, then putting some like ad traffic behind them. So many opportunities, which is so freaking exciting. So really like how I'm tackling all of this is one day at a time, right? Like how you can eat an elephant is one bite at a time, which I don't really love that saying because elephants shouldn't be eaten. But you get the saying, right? Like one thing at a time. This is really how I've been like systematizing our house. It has not happened overnight. It has taken months and months and months, but I finally feel like it's in a really good spot. It doesn't mean it's perfect. I think I have dirty dishes in the sink right now as I'm recording this, but it's like manageable, which feels so good. So really like when I'm looking at this whole list, it's really like, okay, what is that domino effect? Like that's really how I love to look at it. And for me, it's really me feeling my best. Like when I feel my best, I can literally plow through this whole fucking list. So, like, getting some time invested into my health and fitness more than I have will absolutely like create this beautiful domino effect. So, even some things that I didn't mention on here, but like, I want a really good skincare routine. I am 30, almost 33 years old. I think that's my age. I don't even remember anymore. Age is just a number, but I still don't feel like at this age I have like a solid skincare routine that I feel like super good about. So I want to get a skincare routine in place. I want to go for walking dates. I want to continue to up my water intake. I've been so much better about that. But with that being said, like more protein, right? Like hire some personal trainers, like I mentioned earlier. But like I know that'll give me the energy on top of other things that I haven't mentioned when it comes to my health and fitness that I can plow through this whole list. Like I am a doer. I love to do. I love to be. I love to create. So like nothing on this list feels impossible. It's just having the energy to do it. And so I think that is a beautiful domino piece to like focus on first, and then just know like, okay, I'm already scheduling out the master classes to start in August, but it doesn't mean that I can't start prepping for it now, right? Get it on my calendar, start mapping out the slides, start mapping out like the email sequence for that, like et cetera, the sales power hours. Look at my calendar. Maybe I start with one sales power hour a week and then I go to two. How does that feel, right? In order to do a really solid sales power hour, a sales CRM that feels really good. Like I said, we've had several different CRMs over the years, but just nothing that I love. And I want automation. So that's what led me to the one that I'm testing right now. So I don't want to say the name of it until I don't endorse anything and anyone until I like fully believe in it. So I could start with that, then do sales power hours because I would actually have like a solid software in place to be able to be very effective during the sales power hours. Right? Do you see what I'm doing here? So I'm starting to look at all the puzzle pieces. This is exactly what I do with you, but I'm doing it for myself, right? So I'm looking at all of the puzzle pieces, looking at, okay, what's the one domino that's going to help everything else knock down? Focus on that first. Let's put some like solid energy around that, then move on from there. So I am so excited for you to do this for yourself and start to take action. Obviously, here to support you, to think strategically with you, hold you accountable, work through some of these things with you. I also believe like you don't know what you don't know. So like you may not be able to identify all of the gaps because you've gotten as far as you have in your business, but you're like, you keep hitting this like block because you're like, I don't know what I'm missing, right? I've heard that from so many people. And so hiring somebody, enrolling somebody that's further along than you or has been in business longer than you or has the lifestyle that you want is one of the most valuable things you can do. It's almost like buying the Disney Fast Pass, right? It's like, do I want to stand in this line in the hot sun or do I want to buy the Disney Fast Pass, scan my bracelet and come back when it's my time to like get on the ride and enjoy it, right? So I want to be on the ride with you and I want you to enjoy the ride and be able to really work through these things so much faster than just standing in line and waiting around. Your time is so much more valuable. And so when you buy coaching and mentoring, you're buying speed. You're a capable, powerful human being. So it's not to say that you can't do this on your own. It's just so helpful to have somebody that can see the gaps and help you and hold you accountable, right? Like, I love investing in coaching and mentoring and accountability because I just know I'm going to be so much stronger because of it, right? So with all of that being said, look for the gaps. Find the domino. Work on the domino first. Don't feel like you have to have all of the gaps identified because there's not enough time to do all of this today, right? So I'm sure there's even some that are not on my list, and that's okay, right? That's okay. Find the domino, and then as you are working on the domino, it's going to create more energy and momentum that you're going to think of others, and then you're just going to like plow through everything so freaking fast, and you're going to be like, holy smokes, what just happened? I leveled up so quickly, right? And you may like need a moment to like breathe, and then we like rinse and repeat this framework again and again and again as much as you want to grow, right? And really just looking for those gaps is one of the most valuable things that you can do. Obviously implementing and problem solving what the gaps are, but we can't do the thing until we know what to do, right? So that's what I'm really excited for you to work on. And you'll just feel so powerful as a CEO when you do this. And I want you to have good energy around it. I don't want you to feel like anything's wrong with you, or you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or you're not doing enough, or any of those things. This exercise is not meant to do that. It's meant to support you and help you get where you want to go so much faster. And so I just want you to have like that good energy around you when you're doing this. So I'm going to go be mom. I love you so much. I'm so excited for you. I love hearing from you. If there's anything I can do to support you, you know I'm always here. I'm not going anywhere. And let's get to work.